Good day, subscribers! Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel. And if you guys remember, a few days ago, I posted a video called Ask Me Anything, where you guys had the opportunity to ask me tons of questions in the comments section. And I said I would post a video coming up very soon answering those questions. So guess what? Today is that day where I tell all about myself and I answer all these questions you guys may have about different subjects and those kinds of things. So let's go ahead and get right into this, guys. I'm going to answer them one by one and we will see what we have. So the first comment we had was from 2K Doctor. By the way, nice video and keep up the good work. Okay, that's not a question. What is your age? So right off the bat here, guys, I actually am more interested for you guys to tell me what age you think I am. I've always enjoyed throughout my whole life hearing how old people think I am, because usually people are way off, like way off of how old they actually think I am. So I would love to see in the comment section, how old do you guys actually think I am? I'll answer that eventually, but I just want to see what your guys' opinion is on this subject. Okay, next one. Do you have a wife? I do. I'm blessed and I do have a beautiful wife, and that makes me very happy. Next question up, we have from Nai Tempe. Would it be possible to explain the logic behind the below suggestion? The Motley Fool has a following option: short January 2019 $12 calls on GoPro, and long January 2019 $12 puts on GoPro. And then they have a link in here. You recommend GoPro, and I'd like to understand which scenarios and strategy will pay off. That's really hard to understand. I would have to dive a little deeper into that, but what it sounds like is basically they want to do long-term puts on GoPro and long-term calls on GoPro for 2019, meaning that they're expecting either GoPro to make it or break it. They're expecting GoPro stock to either go down substantially or up substantially. So either if it goes down a lot, then they're going to make a ton of money. And if it goes up a lot, then they'll make a ton of money on that way. So they're basically placing a long-term bet that either the company is going to fail and maybe go bankrupt or something like that, or that the company is going to have a huge success and they're going to be a great company. That's what I read from that Motley Fool thing. Sir Toffee says, what's the difference between a customer and a consumer? There's not really too much of a difference, because technically if you're a consumer, then you're a customer of whatever business it is. So there's not really much of a difference between the two. What is GDP exactly? I don't understand what it is really. Thanks. Sir Toffee, GDP is gross domestic product, and that is basically the total service and the total goods sold for a particular period. So they keep track of GDP like usually every quarter. So they'll say GDP growth was up 1.3%. That means the economy as a whole sold, or products and services had 1.3% more sold than the previous quarter or the previous month, whatever they're basing it off of. So that's what it is. It's basically the whole economy as a whole and what it's doing as far as sales go. Next question up, Francisco Lopez. Hey Jeremy, did I choose a bad time to get in the stock market? #beginner. Francisco, I wish I could answer that. I have no idea. In the short term, the stock market can move up, move down. I have no clue where it's going in the short term. I can tell you that I was blessed that when I actually started researching stocks and started getting into stocks, that was during the Great Recession, 2008, 2009, when stocks were super low. When I started actually investing in the stock market, I believe the Dow was at like 7,000 or something super low, maybe 8,000. So I got in at a real great time. But as far as you getting in a great time, who knows? Maybe in a few years, the Dow will be at 30,000 and stocks will be much higher than they are now. I really wish I could answer that. I don't know. And the question is, are you in a better time than I was? That's hard to say, because I got in at a time that was a really, really good time to get invested into stocks. And by the way, at that time, everybody was telling me stay away from stocks. I'm glad I did not listen to those people. Next question up we have from Steph B. Is it possible that a stock could go negative? Say it's at $5 and then it goes to $1, then to 50 cents, then to 1 cent. What happens next? Or is that not possible? Steph B, the lowest a stock could go is 0.0000, basically $0 per share, and that would mean it's bankrupt. Generally, when a stock gets lower than $1, they basically have 3 months from that exchange to either get that stock price up or they will be delisted as a company. So that's basically the answer to that question. Sabi, and I don't even know how to pronounce your last name, I apologize. Nice one, Jeremy. What's your opinion on online trading platforms? Example, Zulu Trade, Plus 500, eToro, etc. Sabi, I've never heard of any of those. Never heard of them in my life. So I will have to get back to you. I'll have to look into those eventually and see what those are all about. I've never heard of them ever, so I have no clue. Rick Pinion, you have quite an investment. Nice to see your setup. Thank you, Rick. Olg V, good stuff, Jeremy. Very educational videos. I have a few questions for you. How much money should a beginning investor invest initially in how many companies / stocks? Also, what price range per stock would you recommend? Thanks. As far as the amount of money to actually put into stocks, I recommend a low amount initially when you're first getting, your toes wet. I don't, condone like going in heavy, super heavy, putting all your chips in the table right when you're starting off. See how things go, buy one stock and then see, if you like this whole research process and whatnot. Stock market investing isn't for everybody. I hate to tell people that because it's really not. That doesn't mean it's for a certain class of people and whatnot, but there's a certain type of mentality you need to have in the stock market. You need to have a certain amount of passion and work ethic to invest in the stock market so you can do it successfully over the course of time. You might be able to get lucky with one stock here and there, but it's a lot of work investing and whatnot. You need to do a lot of research. So I always recommend, going in slowly, researching all those kinds of things, then slowly invest. I started out with $250 was my first investment. So I hear people sometimes leave comments like, hey, I have $1,000. I only have $5,000. Should I even invest? I'm like, that's way more money than I started with. My first investment was I believe exactly it was $257. So if you have $1,000, you got 4 times more money than I started with. So, the amount of money, and I recommend a very low amount of stocks to start out. That way you can keep track of them well, and you can see, how that one stock you're in or the 2 stocks you're in are doing. I hope that helps. Olg, Shabby DIY, nice setup. How did you meet your wife? I met my wife actually at work. We worked together and started slowly but surely hanging out and then dating and things like that. That's how I met her. Does your family support your entrepreneurship / stock trading? Any funny stories about your son? Funny stories about my son. Oh my gosh, he's like a dancing machine. Anytime we go anywhere and there's music on, the kid just dances. Dances like crazy. He's a dancing machine, that kid. So that's the funniest thing about him. As far as does your family support your entrepreneurship and stock trading? Both my parents were actually entrepreneurs, so they absolutely support it. My wife, everybody around me does. Stock trading, I would say initially, my extended family and whatnot, or even my parents and whatnot, maybe not necessarily support fully, because sometimes some people have the thought that stock trading is actually gambling. You're just gambling your money, and that may not be a good thing. You should just put it in a bank account and put it in a savings account and those kinds of things. So I wouldn't say against, but I wouldn't say for. So, Next question up, we have Dose of HK. How much money have you invested in stocks? I do not know the precise number, but it is 6 figures. I don't know what the exact number is. Kev R, how do you make spreadsheets on the iPad? Actually, so spreadsheets I show you guys sometimes in my videos, specifically the 3 stocks to buy video. That's made by a close Danish friend of mine named Niels. He does a great job making these spreadsheets. And as far as the pictures and all that kind of stuff you guys see in the videos, those are all just screenshots I actually take on the iPad. Zachary Ross, do you think the market is going to fail soon? Boy, I wish I was psychic and I knew that. I don't see anything in the economy happening that's going to send us into a big recession anytime soon or anything like that. Doesn't mean something couldn't develop out of nowhere, but as of right now, I don't see anything. I don't foresee anything worldwide like a panic or anything like that. So I think it's just smooth sailing, kind of like it's been for the last 6, 7 years, Next question up, we have Classic Raids. Wait, are your intros something you recorded with the drone, or is this intro made by someone else? Steph B says, I assumed it was his. Everything you see on the channel is all stuff I pretty much do. So all the drone shots you see, sometimes I do them at the beginning of the video. I always do them at the end of the video. Those are all my shots. Even the song, the little do song I do, that is actually a song I created. So pretty much everything on this channel is me, stuff I've made and created. Next question up, we have Frank Galvin. Curious to hear your opinion on Hostess, ticker symbol TWNK. Back in the market today, been in and out of debt, but may have some upside. Would appreciate to know your thoughts. Thanks. So Frank, Hostess, I will enter that into the contest of winning, the stock I break down every week on that series. I'll put that in there and we'll see if Hostess gets picked sometime. I can tell you I love Twinkies, and just reading that makes me want a Twinkie right now. Joanne Gaines, you say, can you tell us more about your business and how one can start up the same type of business? So my business is basically a photography and video production company for high-end real estate, or just real estate in general, I should say. I started out really in the high-end real estate. And how to start a business, I've created some business videos you may want to check out, and that may help you. Also, I would say like the number one key to starting a business, other than obviously you need drive and all those kinds of things, but you need to have a way to like know how to get in front of customers, know how to target people and those kinds of things. So in my field, real estate, it's actually really easy for me to get email addresses and email people or call people and say, hey, you're interested in this and that. It's very easy for me to get off the ground with that kind of stuff. Now, I think that's really important with starting any type of business. You got to know how you can get in front of your potential consumer. Does that mean you have to go to trade shows and these kinds of things to get your product, you're selling, or your service out there? That's like the key to starting a business, in my opinion. How are you going to get in front of people that are potentially going to buy your product or service? That's so key, so key. Easy Guide Gaming, what are your thoughts? Oh no, a GoPro question. What are your thoughts on GoPro right now? I've seen your other videos regarding this, but today it dropped another 5%, now down to $10.50 a share. I went long at $10.79. Do you think it's a hold on to? Do you think it might bounce back like in your channels and videos? By the way, I found your channel the other day and have subscribed. Keep it up. As far as GoPro goes, oh my gosh, stressful. Go broke is stressful because they've screwed up 2 launches. They screwed up the Hero 5 launch. It took them a month to finally get up to full production. They're finally up to full production on Hero 5. And then they screwed up this Karma launch. They weren't producing crap for units. Then they had to do the recall now, and who knows when we'll be back on market. It could be December, could be January. I have no clue. Could be next month, could be November, or it could be this month, November. I don't know what's going on in Go broke in the short term. All I know is I'm very frustrated. I'm not a happy shareholder right now, not just because the stock gone down a lot over the last month, but because it had damn good reason to go down with all these problems they've had initially. They had 2 years to get the products ready. Oh, I so do not want to talk about Go Broke anymore, but I will have to, and on next month's video, 3 stocks to buy, I'm going to have to mention it again, so it's unfortunate, but that's where I'm at with Go Broke right now. But I haven't sold any shares, just so you know, and I actually bought more Monday. Maybe I'm just a little crazy in the head. Who knows? Devin Prevost, you ask, how many companies do you own stock in? I own, I think 3 or 4 right now, right around there. Do each of your stocks usually represent a fairly equal amount of your portfolio? Or do you have a lot more money in some companies than in others? Always, my biggest investment is always much larger than the rest of my investments, usually combined. So right now, my number one investment is Go Broke, unfortunately. And so it's not looking very good. My account's down substantially in the last month, and that's unfortunate, but that's usually the way I do it. I, believe in my number one company more than the others combined, so I'm always going to have the majority of my money in that number one company, and then the lesser amount in my second, and then a much, much, much lesser amount in the third company, and so on and so forth, if I own more companies than 3. Next question, Hysteria. What is the best advice you would give to a new investor? Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself before you believe in someone you're talking on TV, on CNBC or Bloomberg, or somebody that wrote a blog post, or someone on Seeking Alpha or any of these other websites, Motley Fool, or before you watch my videos. Believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is key, because at the end of the day, you make that decision to buy that stock or sell that stock, and you need to own it 100%. And not put that on somebody else, and not be influenced by, oh, well, they said it's a bad stock, or they said they wouldn't invest in it, so I shouldn't. Doesn't mean it. There's been hundreds of stocks I've come across in my investing career that I didn't invest in, and I looked into fully, and I thought, that's not an investment for me. And tons of those stocks went up substantially, hundreds of percent, some of them. So just because I think of it, or just because someone on TV, or this person, that person, doesn't mean it's not a bad stock. So believe in yourself. That's the number one most important thing when investing. Taya Guns. Hi, this is Ty. I am a new investor. I'm trying to ask for some help. I am on E-Trade, and I found in the next 3 years I will only grow 3.3% growth. I feel sad. I was thinking of selling everything and starting all over. Dose this seem good, or what should I do? Classic Ray says, well, say what? I say what? What are you talking about? If you want to sell everything, sell everything. I'm an investor in the stock market. I'm bullish long term on the market. Who knows what will happen? 3.3% growth. I have no clue what you're talking about. Anyways, we'll go on to the next question. Phil, you say GoPro, no surprise. Yeah, that was in regards to me showing my setup and the fact that I record with the GoPro. Of course, I like my company. What can I say? Tempe, is Micron MU a buy? I will enter that in the contest to see if that's one of the stocks I break down every week. We'll see if Micron's a buy. I haven't followed Micron in years, so I would actually kind of be interested to see if it is. Sophia Chen, where do you see yourself career-wise, realistically, and ideally in 5 years? That's a phenomenal question. One of the best questions on here, Sophia. I don't know. And I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I don't spend any time thinking about it because what I've found over the course of my life is a lot of times what you think you're going to be doing now, you don't always do in the future. For instance, when I was in high school, I thought I was going to be an NFL player. Oh yeah, I'm going to be in the NFL. And then that didn't happen. And then in college, when I was running track, I thought, I'm going to be the next Usain Bolt. I'm going to be a track star. And then that didn't happen. And then when I was working for Walgreens, I thought, you know what? I'm going to rise the ranks at Walgreens and I'm going to be CEO one day. And then I left Walgreens and got a better job at another company. And then I thought, oh, you know what? In 10 years, I'm going to be such and such position. And then I left that company and I focused on stocks full time. And I was, just focusing on stocks full time. And then I had a tough year. And then on top of that, I was really bored paying attention to stocks all the time. So I started my own business and I started this channel and all these kinds of things. And I'm happier now than I've ever been at any point in my life. I've always been a happy person, but now I'm more happy than any point in my life with all the things I'm actually doing and creating in my life. So I pay attention to like short-term goals. I do like short-term goals. So I do short-term goals with my business. I do short-term goals even with this channel. For the fun of it, up on the left-hand top of my Mac, I have a little bar that I keep track of, how many subscribers. So right now I have a goal of reaching 7,000 subscribers by New Year's Eve. So we'll see if I can meet that. I've met every goal and surpassed every single goal I've ever set for this channel. We'll see if I can do that. And we can do that as well. So I set short-term goals, and that's where I focus. I don't focus on super long-term because sometimes in life, you just don't know where your life's going to lead you. So it's not worth really like stressing over and thinking about, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Moody Kibbles, is Tesla a buy? Moody Kibbles, I did a video on Tesla a few days ago that I actually posted that if you haven't checked out, you may want to. Luis Espinoza Music, how do you feel about investing in mutual funds or rate or returns better with stocks? Well, mutual fund is basically investing in stocks. It's just investing in basically kind of like the whole market or a select huge amount of stocks basically is generally what mutual funds do. I suggest mutual funds for anybody who doesn't feel like they want to do the work as far as researching all into these companies because it is a lot of work. So if you don't have the passion behind it, if you don't have the confidence in yourself, those kinds of things, then a mutual fund is definitely a good way to go, in my humble opinion. And that wraps up. No more questions after that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, hearing, me answer all these questions. Maybe I'll do another one of these in a few months from now, 3-6 months from now. You know what I just figured out? The other day, I just figured out that next week, I'm going to have to record the 5,000 subscriber video. That's insane to think about because just last month, I did the 1,000 subscriber video. And now this month, I'm doing the 5,000 subscriber video next week at some point because we're going to hit 5,000 subs. So that's pretty awesome to think about. I just figured that out the other day. So I probably won't have this type of exchange to you guys until next week when we do that video. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, you may want to. Oh, you know what? If you're watching this video, you are subscribed. Never mind. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.